walk that walk, I can talk that talk. Give me minds off top, check the clock.
October is the NFL's Cancer Awareness Month, a time to honor fighters, survivors, and the power of early detection. But today we are actually talking to a woman who is living this every day. She's fighting a rare bile duct cancer. She's a huge 49er fan, a huge San Francisco Giant fan. Please help me welcome Phoebe. I am so excited to have you here. And we're going to talk about all the things. But first of all, thank you for being here. I'm really excited to get your story out. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your journey. Can you, before I want to know all about you, but can you say exactly what that cancer is? I know it's so rare and it's very hard to say.
Yes.
I
couldn't pronounce it for about 3 weeks, probably after I was diagnosed. It's cholangiocarcinoma.
Cholangiocarcinoma.
Yes.
Okay.
Very rare type of cancer, also known as bile duct cancer, which most recently Randy Moss was diagnosed with. So
Randy had this as well.
Yes.
Okay. For many of you that don't know, Randy Moss is a Hall of Famer, wide receiver, and he's doing
well.
He's doing well.
He's already finished with treatment, from what I'm aware of.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, before we get into all things, let's go back and let's talk about you. And by the way, if you haven't figured this out, we are at the headquarters of Football is Sexy. We're bringing it to Phoebe. I love your hat, by the way.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about you. Where you're from? How did you become a football fan? All the things.
I grew up in Northern California. It's near Santa Cruz, so a little beach town, about an hour and 15 minutes south of San Francisco. Growing up, we went to Niner games, Giants games, so season tickets at Candlestick.
Okay.
Yep, so a lot of memories there. I actually studied in college sports broadcast journalism. So that's what I thought I'd be, an announcer on Monday Night Football, but instead I'm selling fine wine in California. But
Hey,
two is the same, right?
Hey, many people appreciate you. I could tell you
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
very true. And I've lived in Southern California now for about 26 years, I'd say. And avid sports fan, avid fitness fan. I'm a foodie. I love traveling.
Okay.
I really, really love my friends and my family. That's a big part of who I am. And music is a big, also
Music
something that I love.
You know, I don't know if you've noticed who's.
Yes, I absolutely did notice right when I walked in.
For those of you who can't see this yet, there is a big picture of
Prince.
So I always tell people, if people were to say, tell me a little bit about Monica, it'd be two things. Diehard Niner fan, diehard Prince fan. So all the things are wrapped around the house at some point. But isn't that a sexy picture?
It's a great
Can we
picture.
say, okay. But I know we're going to talk about all the things, but did you ever go see Prince?
I did.
When?
I saw him a few times with my Aunt Mary. I saw him in San Francisco, San Jose. I think he even played once at the Catalyst, like a long, long time ago. So
love him. Sorry, I know it, but that's what happens. I get to do in my podcast. We could talk about what we want, right?
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, she's all about it. So you're selling wine. Things are good.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the football.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit. How did you become a fan? Who taught you the game?
My Aunt Mary.
Okay.
So she's an avid sports fan. She even has a weekly pool that we all partake in. She's been doing it for years. She's like, it's just her love of the game and love of music. So I learned a lot from her. And that's how we started going to games, was with her and my dad and the rest of the family. And then obviously during the era of Steve Young and Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and everyone. So
the good old days.
The good old days, yeah.
The good old days when he actually won Super Bowls.
Right.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Just throwing it out there.
Yes,
Oh
exactly.
my God. And you're a diehard Giant fan.
Yep.
So we're not doing so good on that
No,
front.
we're not, but that's all right. There's
okay.
always next year.
Well, there's always
And the Warriors are just starting again, so we'll be okay.
That's the beautiful thing about being from the Bay.
Right.
We're always in the conversation. I mean, a lot of cities and states can't say the same.
Right.
I'm just saying. Like,
Absolutely.
Giants are always kind of at least in the conversation. Niners, and then the Warriors with Steph Curry. And, like,
Right.
we're lucky. I would not know what it's like to be like in some of these other cities where they just don't have any team.
Right, exactly.
Let alone, you know, teams that just never win.
Never win, but they dominate at times, but never, win. Never win. And they have great stadiums now too. So
oh my God. Have you been to Levi Stadium
That's
yet?
the only one I haven't been to.
You haven't been to Levi's?
We're going.
Okay. Okay. Have you been to a Niner game?
No, I have not. No, I haven't been to Levi Stadium, so I haven't been to the
So the new
recently.
one. What
No.
about in Candlestick though?
Oh yeah.
In
Growing
Candlestick,
up,
right?
all the
Okay.
time, yeah.
So in Candlestick you saw that, but not the new
No,
Levi
not the
Stadium.
new. No, not since they moved to Santa Clara.
Got you.
But no, the stadium Candlestick where the Giants and the Niners play.
Right.
Went to growing up.
Well, let me tell you that there's so many people that wish they could have been to Candlestick. It was just like nothing like it,
No,
right?
nothing like it.
The vibe, on the water?
Vibe, yeah.
Oh my God.
Cold wind night.
So
but
cold.
So fun.
So cold. I remember back in the day, I could get there, the gates would open at like 9, and we have a 1 o'clock game, and they had bands in the parking.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah, no, we'd be there hours and hours before. Everybody be barbecuing, bands. It was like a full-on party. I mean, I was going as an infant to games, so for both. So it was, I mean, a lot of my core memories are obviously going to
I love
Niner
that.
Giants games.
See, we both, I always say, I feel like I grew up in Candlestick.
Yeah.
So you
Me
and me
too.
both, girl.
Me too.
I love it. I love it. But you're going through life.
Yes.
Things are good. You're in Southern California. And then you get a call.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about
Sure.
that?
So last year, probably around, July. I want to say around July. I started feeling, and it was progressing quite a bit, but very lethargic, very tired. I'd be sleeping like 14 hours a day and not feeling like I had enough sleep. And this is for something like, I'm very active. I work out every day. It's really part of like my overall peace, and something that I enjoy. I couldn't really run anymore. It just, things started slowly like deteriorating in a way of my body. Just felt like something was off. And I thought maybe I had long COVID. So long story short, I had an appointment with my gynecologist, and they told her, hey, can you just run some other blood tests for me? Just overall, like, I wanted to see if there was anything that stood out, if something was going on with like my glucose levels or any of that. And so what ended up happening is she called me, and my liver enzymes, which have always been high because of like certain supplements like biotin and things like that, but they were very concerningly high, that she asked me to contact an internal medicine doctor to go over them. And from that point on, it took me a while to get into an internal medicine doctor because mine had retired. So now we're looking at like August. It was around August, September. Got in with her. She said, probably nothing. You know, it's either you had a couple glasses of wine, or you took supplements, or you're eating too many fatty foods for your fatty liver to be off. But let's do an ultrasound and see what happens. So I had an ultrasound a couple weeks later. They found a mass in my liver, and I had a stat ordered MRI the next day, which was a Saturday. The weekend before Thanksgiving of last year. And I was driving up to Northern California to go home. So it was Tuesday, the week of Thanksgiving, and I got a call from her, and she said, I need you to pull over and turn off your car. And they had found a massive tumor that was malignant on the right side of my liver. So that kind of started, which we really didn't know what it was. I didn't know. And she said, you will be coming back and seeing an oncologist surgeon, but go be with your family and be with your tribe. because I was like, do I need to turn around? Like, can I go? And that's how I found out.
We're going to get through this.
Yeah.
We're going to get through this.
Yeah.
First of all, if I haven't said it, like, I'm so sorry that you're going through this.
Thank you.
But
I didn't think I'd cry, but I think just living the story is hard sometimes.
Of course. But we're doing this. So let me ask you. I know why I'm doing this, but you share with me why you're doing this. Why are you doing this podcast with me?
I think it's really good to make people aware of not only listening to your body, but also about this type of cancer. I had no idea what it was. Like, I don't think anybody did. I know my family didn't. I know Michelle, your cousin, didn't. And so the first thing when you Google it is like 20% chance of making it. And it definitely is something that I never thought I'd be sitting here having this conversation with you. I've lived a great life and I will continue to. But I really wanted to bring awareness for people out there that are going through this, because a lot of people aren't aware. And I think that's you using this as a platform for me to be able to share my story is exactly why.
Yeah, absolutely. So it all started because you just didn't feel right.
I felt off. I just knew I was the sleeping, not being able to run, just in general, just off. And I know my body so well, and that's the thing. And so I was right. And so when I got back from Northern California and visiting my family, and there's always like 30 of us, we're Italian, you know, kind of like I was in that point of not knowing what was going to happen. And when I got back and met with the oncologist surgeon, he looked at me and he said, this is going to be the biggest fight of your life. Like, there's a 50% chance the chemo will work, and hopefully it will, and you'll be doing aggressive chemo, and then there'll be, you know, we'll be doing scans throughout the process, and then hopefully we can do your major surgery in October, which would have been this month. And so that's where it all started, and I started aggressive chemo in January, the first week of January of this year. And I responded really well to the chemo, and it shrunk quite a bit to the point that I got to bypass 2 other surgeries and have my surgery in May.
Yay!
Yeah.
Let's give it up for the wins. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. So there's a lot of people that haven't even been able to have surgery. You can't, when it's staged. So the type of tumor that I had that was so large, you're not even given the option of surgery. They can't do it. They have to wait and see how your body responds to the chemo and get it small, at least enough for them to go in and do the first surgery. They told me after I had my scan, I think it was my 3 or 4 month scan, and looked at it and said, this is unreal. Like, we haven't seen this. And it was pretty exciting that day. Also a little bit scary, because you know what's next with the surgery and then what will happen after, but you just live in like fight or flight mode in a sense at that point anyways, because every day, I mean, it was when I went with the chemo educator. So they make you sit down with a chemo educator, and I was with my mom, who came. She lived in Tahoe, but moved to Arizona, and she was living with me during this time. She came to live with me and her cat Sparkles. And
shout out to Sparkles.
Okay, Sparkles, the wonder cat. And they said, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't work out, you can't see friends, you can't go to restaurants. And so little by little, as I started getting used to the chemo, which would be like 8 hours at a time, and how my body would feel, slowly but surely, like days I felt okay, I'd go work out, I'd go see a friend. I would do things to make myself feel as normal as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, you don't want to, but I did. And I think there's a huge part of that helped with my healing process,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of responding to the chemo.
Right.
Because if you read everything about this type of cancer and the way that you feel, I can see why a lot of people don't give up, but they live at home. They don't go anywhere. They don't do anything. And that also, you don't want your quality of life to do when
Right.
there's still something left. So,
Right. In that moment, take me back to when you got the call and you were by yourself.
I was by myself driving on the 405 in LA traffic the week of Thanksgiving.
What was that moment like? And I always say things happen for a reason, but even if we don't know what that reason is at that moment, but you were on the way to go see your family.
I was. Yeah. At first I was shocked,
Yeah.
obviously. I mean, I sat there in the car and the doctor kept saying, I'm really, really sorry. She just kept saying, I'm really, really sorry. And I said, am I gonna die? And she said, I can't tell you that. I don't think you will. I think you're a fighter. I can't give you that answer, but just, this is you're just starting this process, and I'm just telling you now. But I really, and then I still had 5 hours left to drive to
Right.
Northern California.
That's what I was thinking.
And my mind was like, everybody, my family members and everybody were calling me because everybody knew I was waiting to get this information. And I said, it's cancer, and this is what I'm up against, and I'll find out more when I get back next week. But she told me numerous times, like, go be with your tribe. You need to be with your tribe. And that's my family, and that's everything. And I remember when I pulled up, my dad came out, and he was crying, and just everybody just hugged me. And my brother lives in New York, and he flew out the next day, and I got to spend that time until my brother ended up driving back with me down south and spent some time with me. But yeah, it's kind of like, it's a memory I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Right.
But it's also that memory of like, what's next?
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
You don't know until you're in this. So.
And first of all, I think it was so amazing that you got to be with your family. I mean, you did have that 5 hours
Right.
to probably process and think it through, and you're probably on the phone, but to be on your way to your family, like, that warms my heart in some way, that even though, you never want that kind of news, and coming from somebody who, I've had people
Right.
who've been touched by cancer, one of my good friends, Rose, and I think we talked about this, her diagnosis was really bad. They said, get your things in order, and you've got 6 months. And she is not only past that, she's back to work, killing it in the real estate game. And she said what you said, mindset.
Yep.
Mindset and diet. I will add the diet. And if you had anything to say about how you've gotten through the tough days, when you have those tough moments, what is getting you through them? How do you go through a tough period? Because I know there's got to be.
It's really emotional roller coaster, to be honest with you, because you can't. Every day is so different, and especially navigating this journey from the beginning, when you really don't know what is the chemo, how am I going to feel, like, am I going to lose all my hair, am I going to be able to even get out of bed some days? And I think the way I've always been, and this is kind of who I've been since a child, is like, I'll get through something. I just need to put my mind, like, 100% of my energy into that. And that's what I did. That became my job.
Right.
So I really, truly feel like that is what I did. And every single day, and as I got used to how I would know, like, how chemo would affect me, okay, so those days I'm going to feel like this, but the other days I'm not, I'm going to take advantage. And each day was just kind of accepting that, because every day is different. And every day I see a doctor. I mean, I'm 5 days a week seeing doctors, and you just don't know. I mean, and you look around at other people that are dying, you know, and I mean, it's very, very sad.
Right.
And I joined a cholangiocarcinoma group, shortly after I found out my diagnosis. And I remember sitting on that Zoom call, and I would say 90% of them haven't even been able to have the chance to have the surgery yet.
Right.
So they're just living, like their diagnosis is like 4 years, 3 years, and just doing chemo to just live.
Right.
So I consider myself very lucky.
I think you're inspiring
Thank
and
you.
courageous and amazing. Was there a time from this time to now where you're just like, did you ever, were you an athlete? Did you ever?
Yes.
So I kind of had a feeling. So what did you play? What sport?
Well, I grew up on the beach, so obviously, like, I actually worked at O'Neill Surf Shop, which is
Okay.
I started in like 7th or 8th grade, so it was like when all the professional surfers. So I was in the water a lot growing up. I played volleyball, I played soccer,
Okay.
a little bit, but volleyball was the main sport. I swam.
Did you see any relevance to being an athlete to fighting what you're fighting now?
I think in general, just, yeah, I mean, I'm very much of somebody that like fitness is a part of my
Right.
everyday life.
Yeah.
Like that is the endorphins that it gives me, and it's like my morning coffee.
Right.
And I've been that way too also, even later in life. It's, in the morning I get an hour in of a workout, and that kind of feeds my soul. And so I do think in a way that also helped me, because I'm going into this, like, I've always been healthy.
Right.
I mean, I'm lucky in the industry I'm in because I get to eat great meals and drink great wine.
Yeah.
But I also do take care of myself. And that's, I think, a huge part of it,
Right.
in a sense of being able to respond to chemo like that. Because a lot of people go in and it's, it kills you, but it saves you
Right.
at the same time.
Right.
So my body was able to kind of respond in a way that I'm here now.
Talking to a few people that are in your position and that have overcome the diagnosis, it just seems like attitude, mental. And I just think that was something that you said like early on to yourself, like, I'm going to fight this. Was there a moment that you were like, F that?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that moment?
It was the moment after my mom and I sat with the chemo educator, and she said, this is, all the things you can't do, and this is how it's going to be, and blah, blah, blah. And so I remember walking out with all the paperwork, and we're in the cancer center at Hogan Newport, and I took the papers and I ripped them up, and I was like, I'm not doing chemo. I'm not doing any of this. And then I thought about it, and I sat back in the car, and I looked at her, and my mom said, you are a fighter. You've been a fighter your whole life. You're going to get through this. And ever since that moment, I thought to myself, like, you know what? You're right. This isn't the end for me. And it's weird because you're like, I've been through worse, but no, I haven't been through
You're
worse.
like, no, let's not. Yeah.
I haven't been through worse. This is the worst, and I'm still in it. I'm still doing chemo. But in terms of like, you have no control. The only thing that you can control is your mindset. And that's what I did.
Right.
And I really did. I prayed a lot. I am very blessed to have the amount of friends and my best friend that did a GoFundMe page, and people from like grammar school I haven't seen in 40 years that reached out or donated, and the amount of people and love and support is something that I will never forget. And that helped too.
Right.
That almost like feeds you in a
Right.
way. These people believe in me.
Right.
And I do think I can't imagine somebody going through something like this and not having a support system around them.
Right. What would you say to someone like my cousin Michelle, like your friends, like, how is the best way for someone like us to support you? Because I remember going through certain things in my family, and I was like, if one more person says, but he's in a better place.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose it. I remember just I just wanted a hug.
Yep.
And that's it. I didn't even want words. A hug was enough. Or a text that doesn't require a reply.
Right.
Just saying, I'm thinking of you. No need to text me back. How can we support?
That's a great question. There's so many times that people's intentions mean well, right? But
Yeah.
I did it.
Right.
I take fault to a point too of saying, well, my aunt had breast cancer, or my mom had breast cancer. One of my good friends, Anne Marie, like cancers touch most people's lives in some way or another, right? But until you're really sitting in it and you're experiencing it, my biggest advice and takeaway would be, just as you said, thinking of you, want you to know, like, if you want to, I'm here for you.
Right.
I support you. Or I would get texts like, you're a fighter, just wanted to let you know I love you. Little things like that. Or Michelle coming over and just like, let's go for a walk, and listening. I think everybody can give you advice and tell you their stories. And I did that.
Right.
But until you're living that.
Right.
And in it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because everybody's story is different.
Right. And everybody's experience is different. And they're always going to tell you from their side.
Right.
And I've learned that too.
Right.
I wish I could have been better for certain people, and through experiences I got better and realized that, sometimes our intentions are meant to help, but sometimes they hurt.
Right.
Because they're coming from a selfish place. And so I just wanted to throw it out there because I also know, like, from what I've seen and heard, sometimes people don't want to feel obligated to text you back, or
you get so
overwhelmed.
Right.
Right.
So my mom, when she was with me, I had like 7 of my best friends on a group text, and that, she's like, how do I do a group text? I teach her that. But I'm like, please just send this to this group. And so it made it very easy for her. But that group of friends for me, they all knew they could text my mom and they would all see, how is she doing today? What's the latest? What did her scan show? And that really alleviated some of that. And then they could also go, my friends, and tell other groups of friends. I think also Corey, one of my best friends that started the GoFundMe page, she would update every week on that. And then I also took to social media, which I'm private and I'm not somebody that I ever thought would do this, but I decided to start sharing my story.
Right.
And I've connected with a lot of other people through that experience now.
Right. And I can tell you from an outsider, I think you've handled it amazingly well.
Thank you.
Amazingly well. I am so interested in your necklace, though. Want to tell me a little bit about that necklace?
Yes. So it's my nephews. I don't have children, but I have 3 nephews, Luke and Decker, that live in Arizona, and then Santino, who's the newest member of the family. Okay. So my youngest brother, he lives in New York with his wife Katie, and he's 2. I think he's about 2 months old now.
Okay.
And they asked me to be his godmother.
Oh,
so unfortunately, I would have been the first person there. I can't go.
Right.
But I will get to meet him at Christmas this year. So his name's Santino Asher Verutti.
That's a sexy name.
Yeah, nickname Sonny.
That's
not Italian or
name.
Anything.
That's
So
a sexy name.
I'm excited. But yeah, again, family's everything to me. And my sister lives in Arizona, my other 2 nephews, and then Santino lives in New York with my brother. So they're an important piece of my life and who I am as well.
I love that. And so to go back to when you heard the news to where you are today, can you sum it up from here to now? How are you feeling? What is next? Is there a next?
So there's a lot that happened in between this, and I won't go into all of the detail, but I do think it's important to kind of share Like I had mentioned, the surgery part of this wasn't even supposed to happen if I could until this month. So there's also a huge amount of stress that goes into something like this when you're dealing with chemo and doctors and insurance companies
Right.
and a lot of advocating for yourself that I never thought I'd be put in a situation like that. Uh, that was a lot of time spent and a lot of like exhausted energy that I did not have, that I can't imagine people going through that have like 3 kids and trying to fight for their life with insurance. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of stories about that and I won't get into that, but between that time and then figuring out that the chemo was working, that was my next step. Was I was able to do this major surgery.
Right.
And the surgery was 9 hours. I did it at Hogan Newport with 2 of the oncologist surgeons there, Dr. Wolf and Forrester. Luckily, Dr. Forrester had studied under the robot in Stanford, which means it's all robotic. So most people that have liver or any type of like organ cancer surgery, it's a big T from here to here. So they were able to go in through with the robot in 9 hours. They took out 50%. They took out all the right lobe of my liver, 15% of my left, my gallbladder. They actually had to physically remove my colon to get to a lymph node, put it back in, and then remove some other lymph nodes. I was in the hospital for, I believe, 5 to 6 days. They released me, went home, and felt something was wrong. Went back into the hospital, and I had something called a chyle leak. So they readmitted me. I had surgery, and they had to put a drain in the back of the right side of my body. And a chyle leak happens typically when you remove a lymph node and your food can't process through the small intestine. So it essentially is a bag that was coming out, and I had to be put on a low-fat diet, non-fat diet. So I was in the hospital again for another 5 days, released on a non-fat diet. So I couldn't have anything except non-fat food. And unfortunately, the chyle leak still was filling up the bag. So then I had to be put on a PICC line. So they called me and said, you're going to be set up. You have to go to Hogan Irvine. And our soonest opening is Friday evening. So my mom and I drove, and they put a PICC line on the left side of my arm right here. And the next day, a nurse came to my house and showed me how to set it up. And I lived for 4.5 weeks on no food in a backpack of liquids that I had to set up every day. That took like an hour with the pump. So for 20 hours a day, I wore a backpack and slept with it, and then would hang it up on my nightstand at night. And then for 4 hours, I could take it off in the 24-hour period. That was hell because I love food. But it was, I mean, just the process alone. And that was one turning point that I was like, this is it. Like the complications, and even the beginning of this, I had complications from the biopsy. So it just, things were not, yes, in my favor. I was able to get the surgery and the chemo was working. But this was like, this is it.
That was like your lowest point?
That was the lowest point. Because I was like, I thought this was supposed to start getting better.
Right.
And so, but I pushed through it, but it was hell.
So through the lowest point, because maybe there's somebody out there right now going through it.
Yeah.
Can you look in that camera and tell them exactly what helped you get to that lowest point?
Believing in yourself, I would say, and knowing that like it will get better. It will get better. And having family and friends and that support system, and knowing that it, like, just reminding yourself it will get better. Because if I didn't do that, it would be very easy, I think, for anybody in a situation like this to want to give up. And your body can sometimes.
Right.
That's when people don't make it through things.
Yeah. 100%.
And now, as you asked me before I told the rest of the story, I got through all of that. Then they have to give you a period of time for a break before you start chemo again. And with this type of cancer, you have to be on chemo for 6 more months. So I go in every 3 weeks. I go for about 4 hours every Thursday. I receive chemo. And unfortunately, this time, my chemo is not even as aggressive as I was doing. And I've had a lot more side effects. The nausea, the fatigue is like something I've never felt in my life. And I also chose to go back to work during this time because I thought I was going to be fine. I am working from home, although it's sales and I run a team in California, but my
I
company's
can't believe
been
you're
great.
working, girl.
I know.
Look at you.
It's crazy, but as of right now, again, it's like I'm starting to do things when I feel good. Like my weeks off of chemo, I go to Barry's boot camp. I go do things. I do things that make me feel good.
And I was just going to ask you that. Tell me now, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, you're touching people. You don't know their names. Guaranteed you're helping families who are watching someone. I want you to just take a minute and just understand that I believe you're helping others right now as we speak. Right now.
Thank you.
We're going to get this out to it's in God's hands.
It is.
There's going to be someone that needs to hear this story. I don't know who they are either, but I just know it's happening, right?
Yeah.
But you were going right down the path that I was going to ask you. Tell me the things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness. And is it different now than before?
Yes.
Right?
That's another great question. Perspective is so different now. I mean, the things I still notice myself getting stressed over little things like more work wise, but going on walks like Michelle, your cousin mentioned, you never ever had time. You were so busy with work while I was traveling all the time, and we try to make it a point now, like once a week we go on a walk and doing little things like that take not much energy, right? Or time, but it's really being, putting like things into perspective that life is too short. It's really like appreciating family and friends and those that support you during like the lowest of lows that I've been through, and looking into like that I can go work out when I feel okay, that I can go to a restaurant and go eat some great food, or I have the ability to be able to do these things. It sounds so silly, but at the same time, it's like I can go eat in and out if I want. I mean, I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat a piece of salad if I wanted it for 4.5 weeks.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
So it's like the littlest things that now I look at, like, but for some reason I keep seeing butterflies recently. And so I started reading about it, and there's all these different things that are online, but I think I've seen a butterfly almost every single day.
Really?
Since I started chemo again. And I think this is my 5th cycle. So as of now, I will be continuing chemo until January 22nd. They did find a small nodule on my scan that I got back 2 weeks ago, that they're a little concerned about. So hopefully by the time January 22nd comes along, that nodule will be gone on my lung. If it is not, I will do a biopsy, and then I would have to start aggressive chemo again. The problem with cholangiocarcinoma and bile duct cancer is that it's very, very tricky silent cancer. So it's really not something that's ever over. For the next 3 years, as of now, I will be having a scan every 3 months. So an MRI, a CT scan. And it's one of those types of cancers where the percentage, I think it's like 60 to 70% of something reoccurring. But again, if I just focus on that, then I'm not living, right? So I don't.
Well, I'm going to pray for you every day like I have been, and so are everybody that's watching this, because we need you at the party.
Yes.
We're going to have a Super Bowl party
I can't wait.
at the Ice House, and you're going to be there.
I will be there.
You're going to be
like
there.
We talked about the other night. I said yes, and we will be going to a game together one day too.
We're going to make sure that the internet does what the internet does. Phoebe hasn't been to a 49er game in Levi Stadium yet.
No. I don't know.
So I'm calling on my people to make this happen for Phoebe.
Thank you.
Yes. Just hearing your story, it's so courageous and inspiring. But honestly, like I marveled at how you've gotten through it. Like that's a journey. That is, I'm so silent. This is probably like the first time I've been so quiet actually, like because I'm listening to every word, realizing just how I know you've been going through it, but hearing the full story is just wow. Wow. And I'm just in awe of your bravery,
Thank you.
really. But now since we talked about the necklace, we're going to turn it around. We're going
Okay.
to talk about the hat.
Okay.
The hat is fire. I need one of those.
I know. I just got it. I love it.
And we're talking about the diehard. You're a diehard 49er fan. So we're going to get into it. We're going to turn it around.
All right.
I always talk about what the helly.
Yes.
What the helly. Jake Moody,
I know.
our ex-kicker, who we let go, ends up on the Bears. Monday night. Did you see it?
Yes, I did.
What did he do?
It was something that we were very surprised that he did because we didn't see that coming, did we?
No. In fact, I texted my friend who's a Bears fan. And for all you people that don't know, Jake Moody missed a lot of important kicks in the last couple years.
Yes, he
mainly
did.
2 in the Super Bowl. I can't forget it. Like, I don't know what else to say.
I don't think any Niner fan can forget it. So,
and the fact that we took him at a 3rd round, which we could have taken, I don't know, an offensive lineman. You don't ever take kickers in the 3rd round. Anyway, we did, and it never worked out. And so they traded him to the Bears. And what happens? What happens? He was like, wasn't he like
saying the same thing? And my dad, it's like, come on, all right.
He makes the winning.
I know.
He makes the winning kick.
I know.
And they're like carrying him like Rudy, like he's the coming of whatever. And it's the Bears.
Notre Dame Stadium. Yeah, I know.
But I'm not a hater. Okay?
No. Good for him.
I'm happy.
But you know
right.
what? We needed to move on anyways. Yes. But still, yes, it was.
We're happy for him. But I put a reel up, and I put that song "A Little Too Late" behind it because I'm I can do that. I was like, I'm happy for you, but it was a little too late.
Yeah, we've moved on.
Yeah, well, most of you. I don't know that I've moved on, but most of America 49er faithful has moved on. I'm still a little bitter, but we're happy for him. Yes. I really am because I think he really had a hard time. I know he had some injuries, but again, mindset. I really believe that whatever happened, he could never get back mentally to having the confidence that I think kickers need.
That's very true. Yeah, I actually agree with you there.
Yeah, right? So congratulations, Jake. I got to know, Super Bowl is, can you believe it's literally, let me see, November, December, January. We're almost like 3-4 months away. That's insane.
I know. It's wild, too. I'm like, it's just, I can't believe we're in October right now. But Super Bowl. So this is a fun little prediction. And because the Super Bowl is at Levi Stadium.
I better take a drink for this.
Because it's at Levi Stadium this year, I think it'd be fun to see the Charger Rams play.
Oh.
SoCal goes to NorCal, 2 California teams.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, that's not likely going to happen, and we all know that. However...
Well, because the Niners will take care of the Rams, but go on.
Of course. That's...
but if the Niners
we are lacking a lot of our players right now. However...
Like all of them.
Like all of them. But I'm still very proud of them.
I know.
But that would be a fun Super Bowl if the Niners didn't make it.
Okay. I'm with that.
And I'm a diehard Northern California, all my teams, but I was thinking about this as I was driving here, and I was thinking that would kind of be an interesting Super Bowl, wouldn't it?
I mean, I don't think
that. I know I know everybody on the lines and stuff. That's not what's going to happen, but
But you know what?
For fun, shits and giggles, why not?
You never know, and if it does, I'd be like, excuse me.
All of my Southern California friends are going to be like, what? Who are you saying this right
Well,
now?
a lot of people, the Chargers, I mean, they're in the conversation.
Right. No, they are.
The Ravens are losing. The Chiefs, other than the other, I mean, they're not looking great.
They're not looking great.
So it's open.
It is open.
It is open. I think, what did I heard? I think there's 11 4-1 teams or something right now.
It's been a crazy season so
and there's
far.
like a ton of 3-3 teams. So the trading is the end of the trade is November 4th. So it's gonna be really interesting because everyone's kind of like, we're okay where we're at right now because everybody else is doing just as bad.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what the trades are. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of trades. I could be wrong, but
Right.
it'll be interesting. But we're going to be at the Super Bowl party.
Yes.
And I'm going to
Yes.
be excited to have you there.
Okay, well, I cannot wait.
Okay, my last
Bucket
question.
list.
Yes. Well, I forgot. I got to ask
With
you.
the Niners in it, bucket list.
There you go. I got 2
Okay.
questions I forgot to ask you. So if you had a walkout song, what song would it be?
That's a good question. Okay, so obviously I'm like obviously you probably know this, but your audience doesn't know me. I'm a big hip hop person, R&B. So, but I love all types of music. I love music. But I was thinking about like probably a Biggie song or
Okay.
maybe Tupac. I don't know.
little
I mean, I
Tupac?
love I don't know. That's probably, or you know what actually would be fitting is Alicia Keys' Superwoman.
I like it. I like it. Okay. We're going to hook that up
Yeah.
in one of our little reels. We'll get your walkout
All right,
song
I
going
like
on.
it.
And I always like to ask every guest, who's got next? And what that means is like, if I could talk to this person the way I'm talking to you, who would you want me to talk to? Not saying I know him. I'm just saying, if you could, who do you think would be good for me to talk to about life in football?
That's a great question.
I try.
Like a football player?
Can be anybody. Hopefully, at least they like a little football.
No. We need to get a football player.
Okay, let's go.
on.
Football player, straight up.
Maybe like McCaffrey or Purdy.
Okay. Did you hear that? McCaffrey or Purdy?
Or Kittle. Any of them.
Or Kittle. McCaffrey, Purdy, or Kittle. Is that right?
All three.
Oh, all three.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, you know what? Now we just want all three at the same
That'd be
time.
perfect podcast.
Okay, wow. So now I got to try to make this happen.
Yes, please.
All three. Okay. Let me see if I can get on that.
All right.
I think they're busy right now, but I'll check on that. Is there anything that you want to talk about or, let us know we can help push for you, pitch, anything else?
Yeah, no, I think to raise awareness about cholangiocarcinoma, so the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation, which has been a great resource for me and others that are battling this cancer. Again, it's like a smaller foundation. There aren't as many like there are for breast cancer and other cancers, but I think that they've really given an opportunity for people to find ways of dealing with this type of cancer. And if it's not through Zooms or one-on-one, I have a mentor. I think there's a lot more research that needs to be done. And I'm hopeful that will happen.
Yeah.
And if my voice or if anybody is at this point are able to do that, to bring that awareness, I think that's a win right there. So
Absolutely. I definitely want to do our part and try to give back. As we talked about in the beginning, the NFL, especially during October, it never ends for us though, right? It never ends, but in particular in October, they love to bring awareness. Coming from someone who lost 2 fathers to this disease, we got to do more.
Yeah,
we got to do
agree.
More. Don't move because I have something for you. Can you hand me that? I have a little something for you.
Thank you. Yay.
And this is from
This is the one is.
Football is Sexy.
Yes, girl. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And this is, you can't get this anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see what that is?
See, everybody.
Let's show it. This is from Kittle Fest. This is a ticket you can't buy. And this is going
Thank you.
to Phoebe.
Thank you.
And then one more, because I know for your
thank
walks,
you.
it's getting a little
Yes,
chilly out.
perfect. You got me all set up with all the gear.
But wait, there's more.
What?
Refrigerator. There's two something. They're, hopefully you figure out which one they are. They're red.
Oh my God, I can't wait to wear
I got two more things. I know it's not wine. I can't drink it because I'm sober.
I know.
But look at this. This is from Gold Bar Whiskey.
Oh my God, I love this.
This is from Gold Bar Whiskey. They wanted to give you a shout out and send you some love.
Thank you.
And this is, look at this. Go get you
Joe
some.
Montana.
So we only got the best. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Thank you so much for being a fighter and for telling your story. We're going to try to get this to as many people as we can and bring awareness to this disease, this very, very rare disease. And we're going to keep, this is not just for October. We're going to keep moving and moving and moving. And we want to stay, obviously, I'm going to stay in touch with you. I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Whew. All right.
Excellent. Okay, so this is not premeditated. We just decided to have my cousin Michelle on, who is Phoebe's best friend. And I just wanted to, I was like, you know what, since you're here, wait, let me fix your necklace. Make a wish.
Thank you.
Make a wish since you fixed
We know what my wish is, right? That's an easy one.
Yes. I just thought it would be good to have you on as well. Look at, I'm doing my job
Thank
right
you.
here. I'm a producer right now. Wait, you got an eyelash?
Thank you.
Make a wish. Wait,
I'll get.
I'm trying to help you. Okay, make a wish.
Okay,
There's a
okay,
wish.
okay, there's
there
a
you
wish.
go.
All right, got it. Got it.
But since you are my cousin's best friend, I thought it would be cool to have her on just for a minute. As her best friend, tell me a little bit about your thoughts on Phoebe and how she's been dealing with what she's been going through.
Well, it was really emotional to hear her talk about the day that she found out, because I'll never forget it. I mean, she called me and I was on my lunch and she's like, I have cancer. And knowing that she had 5 hours more to drive to go be with her amazing family, but she was doing that alone, was just heartbreaking. And just to hear the word cancer, you know, just, and like she said, not to know, like, cholangiocarcinoma, can we pronounce this? Bile duct cancer, what is this? What are we doing? It's been an emotional ride. And Phoebe and I have been by each other's side through ups and downs, but to hear those words, you know, hear the word cancer, and to see how she's fought through this has been mind-blowing. I mean, there was some rough times in the very beginning, you know, there was some rough times, but she's fought through it. And I can't explain what a fighter she is and how courageous she is. And I think what she touched on is so important, is having the right mindset. You know, you might have a day, there might be a minute where you're like, I feel like I can't do this. But she pulled through it. She would pull through it. And I've just been shocked at how she's gone through everything. I mean, she's got an amazing team behind her, an amazing supportive family, but her mindset, like us going on our walks, like there's been certain things that I think she's really positive things that she's taken away from it. You know, like she said, perspective.
Perfect.
And we've been able to what she said, going for those walks, like all of those things are so meaningful. And just Phoebe is someone that has always been thoughtful and caring and fun, you know, would go to Vegas together and, you know, go out all night, and she'd get up in the morning and still get up and work out. And, you know, I think having that mindset, that discipline has helped her too. And hearing her talk about the PICC line again, when she couldn't eat for 4 weeks, she's a fighter. I can go on and on, so I'm going to stop, but she is amazing and she's going to get through this. And just having the support of family and friends. Her mom has been her parents, her stepmom, her brother and sister have been amazing through all of this. And her mom being at our house for so long and living with her, just, she's lucky too. But she's done so much on her own
Thank
too. To really, everyone's in awe of you. You're a fighter. And
Thanks,
I
lady.
can't wait till you get to ring that bell.
Me too.
You're
can't
gonna do
wait.
that.
I can't
You
wait.
are going
I
to
can't
do
wait.
that.
I can't wait. And so
Do
just
that
so you
together.
How
know,
great does
yes.
she look? Can we
She
just
looks
say
amazing.
Oh, okay, everybody.
I
Let's
mean,
calm
honestly,
down here.
No, girl. But I will say this. So my best friend's Annie Bosco. We wrote a song called Fighter together. And I really feel like you need to meet Annie.
Yes.
And we need to go to a concert. And we're going to make that happen as well.
Okay.
Annie, we're going to make this happen.
We're coming for you.
We're coming for you. I just wanted to make sure that we had you remind her how amazing she is. And I go back to that 5 hours. That is something I don't think I'll ever get. How did you get through those 5 hours? I don't even know.
I just did. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm coming up on the date here pretty soon.
And
So
let's do something on that date. Let's do a little something.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but we're gonna celebrate.
all right.
And I love
that.
you. I love you.
you.
Make sure you stay focused because we're going to follow her journey because she will be ringing that bell. Let's
right.
go.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you.
That looks good on you.
I love it.
Let's
It does.
go.